the paper here has been around since
1862.
Wow. And you live in town, correct?
I do.
Were you born and raised here?
I was not. To steal a line from a friend, I got here just as quick as I could.
Oh, I love that. So, what year did you move here?
Well, we just moved to Cuba in the township itself 4 years ago. So we just lived outside of town before
you
that.
Did. Okay. So, but you've been here for...
I've been in Allegheny County for most of my life. I was born somewhere else.
In Western New York.
It is. It really is.
Incredible down here. It is like, this running joke with me and some of my friends is the fact that I was obsessed with Vermont, and then I moved to California, and I was out there for 11 years, and I lived in Northern California, and I was still obsessed with Vermont, and I moved home, and I was obsessed with Vermont, and I just never explored Allegheny County until I moved home, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
It's a beautiful place to live and raise a family.
It's our own Vermont.
Yes,
It's just got all the character and all the charm and all the geography and all the history that you could possibly...
And really good people.
Yeah, great people. Great people. And that is probably the most underrated aspect of it. The people here are incredible. It's the type of place that you think in your head doesn't exist anymore. You know? So...
Yes, our own little Mayberry.
That's
what I think of it.
Yeah, no, it's genuine good people, man. And in this world, I mean, I lived in New England for 4 years, I lived in California for 11 years, and I moved a lot through both of those moves. And you start to realize that after a while. Western New York people are just better people. Not better people, that's the wrong word, but there's just a heart to people in Western New York. There's an openness to and a welcoming nature that I didn't really receive in New England and North. I mean, you know, the world.
People are kind and helpful.
You know, and caring and open to you, you know. So, and Cuba is just incredible. I mean, this town is so beautiful and it has so much to offer. And it's a perfect little place, you know. And,
people always ask if I'll move, be a snowbird. I'm like, no, I love my town. I'm going to be right here.
Yeah, and look at what's happening. I mean, seriously.
Yes.
So you were here, so this is the perspective that you can offer. So you've been here through this, like, whole arc. And so, real quick, what was it like before all of this happened? It was pretty... I mean, people are still awesome, but...
Right. When we first came here, Cuba was pretty thriving. This building
Can you take the cord and then pop it on the interior?
Yep.
Awesome. There you go.
So Cuba was still thriving. We had 2 grocery stores. This building had several retail stores in it. But then little by little it started to deteriorate. And my office is right across the street. And, you know, this whole side of the street was empty. It was very sad. So I really credit Mike Doyle and those people who started this project really with the resurgence or...
Yeah, well, they did. I mean, the renaissance that this town experienced was on the back.
That was the catalyst for all the positive change that has come after that. So.
And it started with the Palmer, correct?
Absolutely.
And, you know, Mike is very humble, but because I've said that to him, and he always tries to throw it off a little bit. But it really did start.
It really did start with the Palmer. Those few guys sitting, having coffee, and saying someone should do something about it, and then Mike said, well, what about us? We're someone. So that really changed
and
Cuba.
They did. I mean, that's the thing. I tell him that all the time. I was like, it's one thing to have the impetus and the inspiration to do something. It's another thing entirely to follow through.
To act, and for years follow through.
Yeah, you didn't make a couple phone calls.
No.
I mean,
it was like years.
So the impact that the Palmers had on Cuba. Now, so the beautiful thing that you are the editor of the paper is that you, in a different perspective, see the intricacies of how the development is happening because the stories change.
Absolutely.
So the narrative has changed for Cuba.
That's true. When this project first started, I would come over, have to put on a hard hat, walk through the building. It was open all the way to the basement, and it seemed an impossible task. But as soon as that was complete and the doors were opened, it just brought people back downtown. All of a sudden, there was people on Main Street. There were shoppers and customers, so that brought businesses.
Well, and it gave Cuba its heart back. Not that it lost its heart, but it personified the heart, right?
Right.
Because now here's this place where things can start we can start being a community again.
Yes, and that has definitely happened. Definitely.
So-
it's a very exciting time to be here.
It is, right? And that's what we just saw with Lionel and Terry. Like, those guys have made such a huge impact.
They have had a tremendous impact also. Absolutely.
Where'd they come from? I mean, you spent vacation here as a kid in the summer, and all of a sudden these guys show up, and boom, 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 you've got another team working, and then you got Ants, and then you got the brewery going in, and then you've got your traditional stuff that's here, but then you got all the people that the Palmer's attracting. So, what do you think is the most impactful aspect of the Palmer at this point? Like, how's it made the biggest difference in the town?
I think it's just become the heart of the town. There's music and entertainment and the storefronts that they brought downtown. All of those things attracted outsiders here. Visitors come, and just a little while ago we were walking out of a restaurant, the Copper Keg, and somebody stopped me and said, "Cuba's such a charming town. I had no idea." And I thought, that's an amazing thing. I want that to happen every week here.
It is. It really is just an incredible place. I mean, it's like, it's storybookish almost at this point.
Yes.
Because it's layered, it's multifaceted, and the Palmer really has now solidified that.
Right, I think that started the heartbeat here. Lionel and Terry certainly brought an incredible amount of energy and change to the community.
So now, when you first moved here, the Palmer was a mess, correct?
Yes.
So now, so you worked for the paper, and you worked for the paper. So did you see an acceptance? Because you're getting a different perspective, right? Because you're talking to people constantly, articles are coming in, stories are getting pitched. Did you see like the mindset change with the population here as as it progressed? Like, in other words, was there one mindset on the onset, and then?
Yes. In the beginning, some people were very excited and immediately on board. There was also a faction of people who thought, it's too much money, it's too much work. It's not going to happen. It can't be done. I mean, the roof was in the basement, so it's just an open hole all the way down 3 stories. So there were people that were skeptics. But as progress was made, as they could start to see positive change, more and more people got on board.
And so now, right?
Now, yes.
Now people believe.
Yes, people are believers for sure.
And this is now turning into a hub, right?
Certainly.
And it's turning into a hub for the culture, for the basic community, just for basic, like what we're doing tonight, the trivia tonight. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, but it's an everyday thing. And that's the difference between the Palmer and something like the Hollywood and Gowanda is the Hollywood and Gowanda is an amazingly beautiful theater, but they're stuck because it's got, 500 seats in there, right? There's no floor space. So it's not a community center, it's a theater. And I love how the multi-use of the Palmer is turned it into a community center, right?
Yes, we sometimes go to shows at the Riviera Theater up, in North Tonawanda, and they're in the same boat. They have all these beautiful seats, and it's an amazing place, but we have opportunities for different things here. So
And
there's something for everyone at the Palmer. I always tell people that.
Yeah, and the strength that it gives the Palmer is a whole other animal, right? Because whether it's, you can play movies here, you can do plays, you can do trivias, you can have concerts, you can have banquets, you can have weddings, you can have graduations.
Yes.
I mean, it's endless, but it's a beautiful space.
Yes.
And so now, when this first started getting developed, were there factions that wanted it to be something else, or were people pretty much on, as far as you know, were people pretty much on board with the restoration to get it back to where it was?
Yes, people wanted it to be, if those people who supported the restoration process wanted it to be back to what it was. They wanted to preserve the history as each little piece of history was discovered as they were working on it.
Right.
Those were positive stories that we got to share that helped to bring people back bring people into the fold so that they were more supportive of it. Yes.
Right. And now that it's finished, where do you see the Palmer? Like, how do you envision, because I think as an editor for the paper, your knowledge base is completely different than someone that just walks in off the street. Because you're seeing, like, as the editor of the paper, you're seeing everything, good, bad, and different otherwise, right? Because you got a different feel for the town.
I don't think there's negative attitudes anywhere. I think everybody is very grateful for all that has been done and fully supports it now in the community. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. Is that what you're
Oh, no.
asking?
Well, I was saying just, like, where is it going now? Are you guys, is it almost time to...
Well, it's getting close, but I was going to sneak in and put...
Oh, you're totally welcome. Yeah. It's just a documentary interview, so you're good. So, yeah, no, it wasn't about that. It was more like just where do you see it going in the town, and, like, where is it, is it leading the town into a different...
I think it has been a catalyst that brought the town in a different direction. It has attracted things that would not have come to Cuba without this starting. I definitely
That's what I was headed, because I think even if you want to take that down to the human level, why not Terry?
Absolutely.
Right? They literally give full props to the Palmer for retaining them and bonding them to the town and showing them, yes, this is a place that we can do this because of this, because this thing happened here.
And I'm so grateful for those first people that saw potential, that saw opportunity and possibility, and didn't just look at it as an albatross that no one knew what to do with. They saw that it could be a positive change and worked hard to make that happen.
That was beautiful.
Oh. Yeah.
That was perfect.
Well, just cut that little part out and leave all the rest.
No, that was a writer's sentence. That was a beautiful sentence. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.